It's time to focus and invest in yourself. There comes a point in every person's life when you have to stop waiting for someone to see your worth and start seeing it yourself. You've spent too long pouring into others, fixing broken things, mending relationships that drain you, giving time to people who don't value your presence. But hear me today. There is a season for service, and then there is a season for self-investment. It's time to focus and invest in you. You can't keep giving from an empty cup. You can't keep running on fumes expecting to reach the destiny you were born for. Every dream requires a deposit. Every vision demands an investment. You want growth. Then it's going to cost you your comfort. You want peace. Then it's going to cost you your distractions. You want success. Then you'll have to discipline yourself when nobody's watching. You see, many people want the reward, but they don't want the routine. They want the glory. They don't want the grind. They want the blessing, but they don't want to build. But your future doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to work. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're wise. Because when you invest in your mind, your health, your peace, your spirit, you're not just changing your life. You're changing your capacity to impact others. You can't lead anybody if you're lost. You can't heal others if you're broken. You can't inspire people when you're drained. So it's time to shut out the noise. Stop comparing your journey to theirs. Stop scrolling through highlight reels of people who don't even know your name. What they show you is their glory, their grind, their blessing, not their battle. But your story, your struggle will birth something far greater than imitation ever could. You need to take yourself seriously, set boundaries, cut off the things that feed your insecurities, make investments that multiply your purpose, read the books, take the course, start the project, go to the gym, protect your peace. Every small deposit you make today compounds into the person you're becoming tomorrow. Sometimes God or life will isolate you not to punish you, but to prepare you. That's the season when you focus on your roots, not your branches. Rush to be seen. Grow strong enough to stay standing when the wind comes. Don't chase applause, chase alignment. Because when you are aligned with your purpose, success will find you without you begging for it. So stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your silence. Stop watering dead plants. Stop revisiting old pain. Stop proving your worth to the wrong audience. You are the project now. You are the assignment. You are the investment. It's time to wake up every morning and tell yourself, I am worth the work. Because when you start valuing yourself, you attract better energy, better people, better opportunities. You begin to walk differently, talk differently, think differently. This is your season of focus. Build quietly, heal privately, work diligently. The version of you that's coming will make sense of everything you've been through. Every tear, every trial, every lonely night, it was all preparation. Invest in yourself because no one else can live your dream for you. The world is waiting for what you've been afraid to release. The moment you start believing in you, heaven and earth start aligning to support you. So don't waste another minute explaining your focus to those who are comfortable with mediocrity. Let your growth make the announcement. Let your progress do the talking. It's your time to focus. It's your time to rise. It's your time to invest in you. There is a powerful truth that many people fail to understand. Is self-investment is not selfishness. We have been conditioned to believe that taking time for ourselves, setting boundaries, and prioritizing our own growth means we are neglecting others. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you do not have. Investing in yourself is not about arrogance or self-centeredness. It is about becoming the best version of who you were created to be so that you can serve, lead, and love more effectively. So many people live their lives constantly giving their time, their energy, their love, their resources, while never stopping to refill themselves. They wear exhaustion as a badge of honor, as if being drained somehow proves their worth. Running yourself into the ground is not noble, it is neglect. If you never rest, if you never reflect, if you never restore, You will burn out long before you reach your purpose. Self-investment means you value the gift of life you've been given. It means you understand that your mind, your body, and your spirit need care and cultivation. Just as a farmer cannot expect to harvest without planting seeds, you cannot expect growth without pouring into yourself. The time you spend reading, learning, healing, and improving is not wasted. It's multiplied. Every moment you devote to your own progress increases the value you bring to everything and everyone around you. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for focusing on yourself. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you're selfish. But what they really mean is that you've stopped feeding their comfort zone. They were comfortable with you being available at all times, comfortable with you sacrificing your dreams for their convenience, comfortable with you dimming your light so they wouldn't have to confront their own darkness. There comes a moment when you must decide whether to live for approval or to live for purpose. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you start caring about yourself too. You start giving yourself permission to grow, to evolve, to pursue peace, even if it costs you company. You start realizing that you can love people deeply and still choose yourself. You can help others and still protect your boundaries. You can serve the world without destroying your own world in the process. There is a difference between selfishness and self-investment. Selfishness takes from others without giving anything back. Self-investment builds something within you so that you can give more abundantly. When you learn, you teach better. When you heal, you love deeper. When you rest, you show up stronger. When you grow, you inspire others to grow too. Your development creates ripples of transformation in the lives of those around you. Think of it this way: a candle cannot light another if its own flame has gone out. Self-investment is how you keep your flame burning. It is the discipline of renewal. It's waking up early to meditate or pray. It's reading books that challenge your thinking. It's eating well, exercising, sleeping enough, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. It's walking away from toxic environments that suffocate your spirit. It's saying no to things that drain your peace, even if it disappoints others. You owe yourself that much. You owe yourself the effort to grow, patience to heal, and the grace to rest. You are not here just to exist. You are here to evolve. Life is too precious to spend every day running in circles, doing everything for everyone else, while ignoring the silent cry within your own soul. You deserve the time to find your rhythm again, to rediscover your voice, to remember who you are when no one is pulling at you. The truth is, when you invest in yourself, everyone benefits. Your relationships become healthier because you're not giving from emptiness. Your work becomes more impactful because you're not operating from stress, but from strength. Your decisions become clearer because you're not reacting from fatigue, but responding from peace. The better you become, better everything around you becomes. Self-investment also teaches you how to appreciate solitude. You begin to see the value in stepping away, in being still, in listening to your own thoughts. You stop chasing validation from others because you learn how to validate yourself. You start realizing that silence is not loneliness, it's alignment. It's the space where you hear your own spirit again. Many people avoid investing in themselves because they fear what they might discover. Growth can be uncomfortable. Healing requires facing wounds you've tried to bury. Discipline means saying no to things you once enjoyed. But every investment comes with sacrifice. You cannot grow without letting go. You cannot build without breaking old patterns. You cannot rise without releasing what keeps you grounded. That's why self-investment requires courage. It means admitting you are responsible for your own growth. It means you stop waiting for someone to rescue you or fix you. It means you stop blaming circumstances and start creating change. The day you take ownership of your development is the day your life truly begins to shift. Investing in yourself also means recognizing your value. You are worthy of good things. You are worthy of love, peace, success, and joy. Too many people settle for less because they've been told to be humble, quiet, content with small things. But true humility is not shrinking, it's shining with grace. It's knowing your worth without arrogance and pursuing excellence without apology. Every time you invest in yourself, Whether by learning a new skill, taking care of your health, managing your finances wisely, or nurturing your mental and spiritual well-being, you are building equity in your destiny. You are planting seeds that will one day produce a harvest of fulfillment. You may not see results immediately, but every small act compounds. Every page you read, every workout you finish, every boundary you enforce, every prayer you whisper, they all add up to transformation. And let this be clear. Everyone will understand your journey. Some will mock your focus. Others will misinterpret your silence. But remember, your path is not theirs to understand. You are not living for their comfort. You are living for your calling. Stay consistent. Stay committed, because one day the results will speak so loudly that you won't have to explain anything. In the end, self-investment is an act of love. Love for your purpose, love for your potential, and love for the future you're building. When you take care of yourself, you honor the life you've been given. You acknowledge that your presence on this earth matters. You recognize that the better you become, the greater your ability to make a difference. So stop feeling guilty for choosing yourself. Stop apologizing for protecting your peace. Stop delaying your dreams out of fear of what others will think. You are not here to live small. You are here to shine, to serve, and to soar. Invest in your mind, because wisdom will take you where motivation cannot. Invest in your body, because health is your foundation. Invest in your peace, because chaos cannot create clarity. Invest in your spirit, because purpose flows from within. Self-investment is not selfishness. It is strength. It is self-respect. It is the acknowledgement that you are a divine creation worthy of care and growth. When you choose to nurture yourself, you are choosing to honor the gift of life. And when you stand in that awareness, you don't just change your life. You change your world. Dreams are beautiful. They are the seeds of greatness planted deep within the human soul. They give us hope when life feels heavy, direction when the path seems unclear, and purpose when routine threatens to dull our spirit. But dreams alone are not enough. Dream without discipline is like a seed never planted. It holds potential but produces nothing. Every dream requires discipline. Every vision demands commitment. Every purpose asks for persistence. Without discipline, your dream remains just an idea floating in your imagination, never taking form in the real world. Discipline is the bridge between intention and manifestation. It's what separates wishful thinking from tangible achievement. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to endure the consistency that success demands. Everyone desires greatness, but few are willing to repeat small, unseen actions day after day that lead to it. You can't pray for the promise and neglect the process. You can't expect the reward if you refuse the routine. The truth is, dreaming is easy. Working for it is hard. Vision excites you, but discipline tests you. The excitement of beginning will fade, but the power of consistency will carry you through. When motivation disappears, and it always does, discipline becomes your anchor. It's not how inspired you feel that determines your destiny. It's how committed you remain when you no longer feel inspired. Discipline requires sacrifice. It will demand that you trade comfort for commitment, distraction for direction, and pleasure for purpose. It will ask you to get up early when you want to sleep in, to keep working when you'd rather rest, to stay focused when others drift. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't make noise. It's not a grand announcement on social media. It's quiet. It's done in the background. It's the late nights, the early mornings, the daily grind that nobody sees, but everybody notices when it finally pays off. Dreams are built in private long before they're celebrated in public. What you do when no one is watching determines what happens when everyone is. Every athlete who stands on a podium has spent countless unseen hours practicing. Every entrepreneur who succeeds has endured sleepless nights of strategy and struggle. Every artist who creates beauty has faced frustration and failure before mastery. You cannot shortcut the process. The road to your dream is paved with discipline. Discipline also demands focus. The world will constantly try to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. Distractions are everywhere. People, opinions, entertainment, comparison, and noise. But if you're going to reach your dream, you have to protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your future. You can't build your dream while constantly watching someone else build theirs. You can't walk your path while stopping to analyze every opinion along the way. You must decide what matters most and give it your all. There will be moments when it feels like nothing is working. You'll question if your effort even matters. You'll wonder if your dream is too far, too difficult, too unrealistic. But those are the moments when discipline must take over. That's when you tell yourself, I'm not doing this because it's easy. I'm doing this because it's necessary. Discipline keeps you moving when emotions fail you. It teaches you that progress isn't always visible, but it's always happening. Discipline is also a test of patience. Dreams don't bloom overnight. The seed planted today doesn't bear fruit tomorrow. It must be watered, nurtured, and protected over time. You must be willing to work while waiting. So many give up right before the breakthrough because they confuse delay with denial. But delay is not denial. It's development. Discipline teaches you how to endure the waiting season, how to trust the process, even when the results are not yet visible. Understand this. Discipline is not punishment. It's preparation. When you discipline yourself, you are preparing your character to handle the weight of your dream. Success without discipline destroys people. Many have lost their blessing because they weren't strong enough to manage it. Discipline builds the structure that holds your success in place. It shapes your mindset, sharpens your habits, and strengthens your resilience. It makes sure that when your opportunity comes, you're ready to sustain it, not just celebrate it. Every dream comes with a price. You can't be casual about your purpose and expect extraordinary results. You can't crave the outcome but reject the process. You can't want the crown without carrying the cross. Discipline will demand that you stay consistent even when you feel unseen, unnoticed, or unappreciated. It will demand that you keep sowing even when the soil seems barren. It will ask you to believe even when nothing seems to be happening. But if you stay faithful, if you stay disciplined, your time will come. Discipline also means accountability. It's not about perfection. It's about responsibility. It's looking yourself in the mirror and saying, no one else is going to do this for me. It's refusing to make excuses. It's holding yourself to a higher standard because you know your dream deserves it. Excuses are easy, but excellence requires effort. Discipline means you stop blaming circumstances, people, or timing. You decide that no matter what happens, you will stay committed to the goal. You must also learn that discipline is a daily decision. It's not something you achieve once. It's something you choose over and over again. Every day you wake up, you are faced with a choice, comfort or commitment, distraction or determination, laziness or legacy. Discipline is forged in those small, seemingly insignificant choices that define the trajectory of your life. Sometimes discipline looks like saying no to things that seem good but aren't right for you. It looks like missing parties, skipping distractions, ignoring the voices that tell you to quit. It looks like focusing on your priorities even when your emotions don't agree. You can't be everywhere, everything, and please everyone while pursuing your purpose. Discipline narrows your focus so you can give your best to what truly matters. In the end, every dream requires not only belief, but also backbone. Belief gives you vision, but discipline gives you victory. Belief opens the door, discipline keeps you walking through it. Belief ignites the fire, but discipline keeps it burning when the wind blows. Discipline turns potential into power, talent into triumph, and dreams into destiny. You may not feel like you're making progress every day, but discipline ensures that you are. Even when the steps are small, there's still steps forward. Even when you stumble, discipline helps you rise again. Discipline doesn't mean you never fail. It means you never stop trying. So keep showing up, keep pushing forward, keep doing the small things with excellence. One day you'll look back and realize that your discipline carried you to places your dream alone could never reach. The results will speak for themselves. The fruit of your effort will silence every doubt. Every dream requires discipline because discipline is the heartbeat of destiny. Without it, your dream remains dormant. With it, your dream becomes unstoppable. Stay consistent, stay committed, stay focused. Because one day, the world will see what your discipline built in silence, and it will be worth every sacrifice you made. There comes a time in life when everything seems to grow quiet. The calls stop coming. The friends who once surrounded you begin to fade away. The opportunities that used to come easily suddenly disappear. You find yourself standing alone, questioning, wondering, doubting, asking, why am I here? Why did everyone leave? What did I do wrong? But the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. You are simply in your season of isolation. That isolation is not punishment, it's preparation. Isolation is one of the most misunderstood seasons in a person's journey. When life removes certain people, distractions, and comforts, we often interpret it as rejection. We think we've been forgotten, abandoned, or overlooked. Isolation isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's the space where your potential begins to take root. It's where your strength is refined, your vision clarified, and your faith deepened. It's the quiet classroom where life teaches you who you really are when there's no audience to impress and no crowd to validate you. You see, hair enough. When you're surrounded by noise, it's hard to hear the whisper of purpose. When you're constantly entertained, you miss the lessons that come in silence. When you're always busy pleasing others, you forget to listen to the voice within. Isolation removes the clutter so you can see clearly. It strips away the opinion so you can think deeply. It silences the crowd so you can hear your calling. There are things that can only grow in stillness. Seeds don't sprout in chaos. They develop underground in the dark, unseen by anyone. The same is true for your life. The season of isolation is your underground stage. You are being planted, not buried. You may feel hidden, but you are actually being developed. You may feel forgotten, but you are being fortified. The very darkness that feels like confinement is actually the warmth of your next level. Every person with a great destiny has faced isolation. Before greatness, there is always a season of separation. Before elevation, there is always preparation. Pulls you back before it launches you forward. It's like an arrow being drawn back in the bow. The tension, the silence, the pull, it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary, because the further you are pulled back, the farther you'll be propelled when the time comes. During isolation, you learn to rely on something deeper than applause. You learn to find strength in solitude. You learn that your value doesn't decrease just because others stop noticing you. You learn to depend not on popularity, but on purpose. You begin to understand that true confidence is not built in the presence of people, but in the presence of peace. Many people can't handle isolation because they mistake it for punishment. They think they've been disqualified. Sometimes life isolates you to protect you. There are connections that would have corrupted your growth. There are places that would have drained your energy. There are relationships that would have distracted your focus. So when you find yourself alone, I challenge you to love enough and care enough. Don't assume it's because you're not good enough. Realize it's because you're being prepared for something greater than where you've been. Isolation is where identity is formed. It's where you stop living for approval and start living for authenticity. When the crowd disappears, you finally get to meet yourself. You begin to see your patterns, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your wounds. And as you face yourself honestly, you grow in ways that constant company never allows, because growth requires reflection, and reflection requires quiet. This season teaches you how to stand on your own 2 feet. It trains your mind to be still in the storm. It develops emotional maturity, mental clarity, spiritual depth. When you come out of isolation, you don't come out the same. You come out wiser, stronger, and sharper. The loneliness that once felt unbearable becomes the birthplace of your resilience. Think about it. Diamonds are formed in pressure and darkness. Gold is refined through fire. Butterflies are transformed in the cocoon. Every stage of transformation involves isolation. The cocoon isn't punishment, it's protection. The caterpillar can't become a butterfly in front of the world's eyes because transformation requires privacy. It needs space to break, change, rebuild without interruption. So does your life. Your cocoon season is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to prepare you to fly. When you're isolated, You start to see who really belongs in your life, the ones who remain when you have nothing to offer, but your authenticity are the ones who truly value you. Isolation filters your circle. It reveals who's loyal to your presence and who is only loyal to your position. It teaches you to appreciate solitude instead of fearing it. This season will challenge you. You'll be tempted to rush out of it, to fill the silence with noise, to chase company just to feel connected. But rushing the process only delays your purpose. Stay where life has planted you. Grow roots in the dark. Learn the lessons that silence is trying to teach you. Because when the time is right, life will bring you out into the light. And when it does, you'll be ready in a way you never were before. In isolation, you develop the discipline that destiny demands. You learn how to stay focused without external motivation. You learn to find peace within yourself. You discover that joy doesn't come from attention, but from alignment. You stop seeking validation because you learn to validate yourself. You realize that solitude is not emptiness, it's elevation. It's the ground where purpose starts to bloom. Isolation also builds your faith. The familiar disappears. You're forced to trust something greater than what you can see. You start to believe that even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is being aligned behind the scenes. You start to realize that the silence isn't abandonment, it's strategy. It's life positioning you for your next assignment. There will be moments when it feels unbearable. You'll feel disconnected, misunderstood, invisible. You'll question if you've missed your chance. But remember, delay is not denial. Hidden seasons always come before harvest seasons. The tree doesn't bloom all year. It has a winter where it appears dead, yet beneath the surface, the roots are growing deeper. Your isolation is your winter. Your roots are strengthening so your future can stand firm. And when the time comes, when you step out of isolation into your moment, you'll realize why you had to go through it. You'll see that every quiet day, every lonely night, every unanswered call was shaping you for something greater. You'll speak differently, think differently, move differently, because you'll know your worth in a way you never did before. You'll no longer chase validation. You'll carry purpose. So don't despise your season of isolation. Embrace it, use it, grow through it. Don't rush what life is refining. The solitude that feels heavy now will one day feel sacred. You will look back and realize that this was the season where everything changed, not on the outside, but on the inside. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected. You're not being forgotten, you're being formed. Your silence is sacred. Your solitude is strategic. This is the time when life is building your foundation for the next level. When your time comes to emerge, you won't have to fight for a place. You'll fit into it. You'll realize that isolation wasn't meant to break you, but to build you. It wasn't a setback, it was set up. And when you rise, you'll rise with strength, clarity, and peace that only the quiet could have taught you. There comes a moment in every journey when you realize that not everyone and not everything deserves access to you. You begin to understand that your energy, your peace, your focus, and your purpose are sacred. The more you grow, the more you realize that the greatest form of protection is not distance, it's discernment. Boundaries are not barriers to love or connection, guardians of your destiny. They are the invisible walls that protect your peace, preserve your purpose, and prioritize your growth. Too often, people confuse kindness with accessibility. They believe that being good-hearted means being available to everyone all the time. But when you give your time, your attention, and your energy to everything and everyone, you end up scattered, present everywhere, but grounded nowhere. Your purpose can't thrive in chaos. Needs focus. It needs order. It needs boundaries. Boundaries are the spiritual fences around your garden of growth. Without them, weeds of distraction, negativity, and manipulation begin to take root. Boundaries tell the world, I know who I am, and I know what I'm called to do. They are not selfish. They are sacred. You cannot protect your purpose if you do not protect your peace. Every person walking in purpose must learn the art of saying, not because they lack compassion, but because they have clarity. When you say no to what doesn't align with your purpose, you're saying yes to what does. Boundaries teach you how to honor your time, how to prioritize your calling and how to respect the energy required to fulfill it. Some people won't understand your boundaries because they benefited from your lack of them. They were comfortable when you said yes to everything, when you stretched yourself thin to accommodate their needs, when you ignored your exhaustion to maintain connection. But growth requires separation. You cannot evolve while trying to appease everyone. You cannot carry your purpose while carrying everyone's expectations. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about keeping your mission safe. Every purpose comes with opposition. Distractions don't always look destructive. Sometimes they come dressed as opportunities. Not every invitation is divine. Every open door is meant to be walked through. Boundaries help you discern what's good from what's right. They remind you that just because something is available doesn't mean it's aligned. There will be times when setting boundaries feels uncomfortable. You'll feel guilty for choosing yourself, for saying no, for stepping away. But guilt is not a sign that you're wrong. It's a sign that you're learning a new way of respecting yourself. You're reprogramming your mind to believe that your peace matters, your time is valuable, and that your purpose is worth protecting. Every visionary, every leader, every person walking in destiny must learn this truth. If you don't define your boundaries, the world will define them for you. People will take as much as you allow. They will drain your time, your creativity, and your energy until there's nothing left for your calling. That's why boundaries are an act of stewardship. You are not just managing relationships, you are managing your assignment. Boundaries are also a reflection of self-respect. When you respect yourself, you stop tolerating what disrespects your peace. You stop explaining your worth to those who can't see it. You stop overextending yourself for people who only take. You stop allowing toxic environments to contaminate your growth. You begin to realize that peace is not found. It's protected. Protecting your purpose means learning to be selective with your time and your company. Not everyone can go where you're going. Some people are seasonal. They were meant to walk with you for a chapter, not a lifetime. The problem is, many of us try to make temporary people permanent. We hold on to relationships that drain us because we fear loneliness. There is no loneliness worse than staying connected to people who keep you from your calling. When you start setting boundaries, you'll notice something powerful. Your clarity will increase. You'll start hearing your own thoughts again. You'll start feeling peace instead of pressure. You'll start focusing on your goals instead of everyone else's expectations. Boundaries don't just protect you from others, they protect you from losing yourself. Purpose requires focus, and focus requires separation. There are seasons when you'll have to pull back, when you'll need to spend time alone, when you'll have to prioritize your mission over your comfort. You cannot grow in the noise of constant demands. You cannot hear direction when you're constantly distracted. Boundaries create space for stillness, the kind of stillness where purpose speaks. Boundaries also build discipline. When you say no to distractions, you train your mind to stay committed to what truly matters. You learn that not every conflict deserves your reaction. Not every opinion needs your attention. Not every fight requires your participation. Boundaries remind you that silence is sometimes stronger than response, and peace is more powerful than validation. People who lack boundaries often live in exhaustion, frustration, and confusion. They're pulled in too many directions, saying yes to things that drain them and no to things that grow them. But those who set boundaries move with clarity. They are intentional with their words, their energy, and their focus. They understand that every yes has a cost. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something vital. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means you start loving yourself to be honest about your limits. It means you stop trying to save everyone while drowning yourself. It means you stop giving your best to those who give you their bare minimum. It means you start choosing peace over approval and progress over people-pleasing. Your purpose will demand separation. Will be seasons where you'll have to walk alone. Not because you're better than others, but because you're becoming better within yourself. Boundaries will teach you that solitude is not punishment, it's preparation. It's in that space of solitude that clarity sharpens and confidence grows. Understand this, people who truly love and respect you will honor your boundaries. They won't guilt trip you for needing rest. They won't manipulate you for saying no. They'll understand that protecting your peace allows you to show up more fully, more authentically, and more effectively. Boundaries reveal who's aligned with your growth and who's attached to your comfort. Your purpose is too precious to be exposed to everything. Protect it like treasure. Guard it like gold. The enemy of purpose is distraction. Boundaries are your defense. When you know what you're called to do, you stop entertaining what pulls you away from it. You stop arguing with critics, stop explaining yourself to doubters, and stop engaging with negativity. You stay focused on what fuels you, not what drains you. Boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They are doors that decide who gets in. They're the locks that secure your energy from being stolen. They are the filters that separate what strengthens you from what sabotages you. When you master art of setting boundaries, you gain freedom. You are no longer enslaved to the opinions of others. You stop overcommitting to things that don't serve you. You begin to live with intention, clarity, peace. You move from people pleasing to purpose living. You stop chasing validation and start walking in alignment. So let them call you distant. Let them say you've changed, because you have, and that's the point. Growth requires change, and change requires boundaries. You are not being rude. You are being responsible. You are not being cold. You are being careful with your calling. Never apologize for protecting your peace. Never feel guilty for prioritizing your purpose. You were not created to be everywhere for everyone all the time. You were created to fulfill a purpose that only you can carry. And to do that, you must protect it. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Success isn't born in a single moment. The life you dream of is not the result of one big decision. It's the product of small, consistent investments made over time. Every step, every effort, every sacrifice you make today builds upon the last. It's easy to get discouraged when results aren't immediate, but true transformation never happens instantly. It's the steady, faithful commitment to progress that compounds into greatness. When people hear the word investment, they often think of money, markets, or material gain. The greatest investments you'll ever make are not financial, they are personal. Every time you invest in your mind, you grow wiser. Every time you invest in your health, you grow stronger. Every time you invest in your peace, you grow calmer. And every time you invest in your character, you grow deeper. These are the kinds of investments that multiply silently, building value in ways you can't always see right away. We live in a culture obsessed with speed. Everyone wants fast results, instant success, quick validation. But the truth is, anything that grows too quickly rarely lasts. Overnight fame fades, instant riches vanish, and shortcuts often lead to dead ends. What truly lasts is built slowly, deliberately, and intentionally, just as compound interest grows exponentially over time. So do the results of consistent effort, the small actions you take daily, reading a few pages, saving a little money, exercising for half an hour, reflecting in silence may seem insignificant today, but over time, they create extraordinary change. It's not what you do once that shapes your life, it's what you do repeatedly. The difference between the person who dreams and the person who achieves lies in persistence. The achiever doesn't do everything perfectly. They simply refuse to quit. They understand that progress may be slow, but it is never wasted. Each day adds another layer of strength, knowledge, and resilience. Every small effort compounds, stacking upon the last until it becomes a mountain of mastery. Investments compound in silence. You won't always see immediate results. Sometimes it will feel like nothing's happening. You'll wonder if your effort even matters. Just like a seed planted in the soil, growth is taking place beneath the surface. The roots are developing before the fruit appears. The progress you can't see is preparing you for the success that's on the way. Every disciplined decision, every moment of patience, every act of self-control builds momentum that will one day make sense. Discipline is the foundation of compounding growth. When you show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, You are building something that emotions alone could never create. The power of discipline lies in its quiet consistency. You may not feel the difference each day, but the results accumulate. It's like drops of water filling a glass. One drop doesn't seem like much. Over time, the glass overflows. Every small investment of effort creates ripples that extend far beyond the moment. When you read a book, it changes how you think. When you work out, it changes how you feel. When you practice gratitude, it changes how you see life. When you save money, changes how you manage your future. None of these changes happen all at once, but together, over time, they transform who you are and what you become. Too many people quit because they can't see progress fast enough. They forget that time is the multiplier of effort. What you plant today will not grow tomorrow, but if you nurture it, it will grow in the right season. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step away from where you used to be. Consistency beats intensity every time. A little done daily is better than a lot done occasionally. Patience is the companion of compounded growth. You must trust the process even when you can't see the outcome. Life rewards those who persist. The dreamers who stay disciplined, the builders who stay committed, the believers who stay faithful. These are the ones who eventually reap the harvest. The problem is, most people want the harvest without enduring the season of planning. They want results without the routine. Anything worth having is worth waiting and working for. When you make the right choices daily, you are building a future you'll thank yourself for. Every minute you spend learning adds wisdom. Every time you push through discomfort, you add endurance. Every time you control your emotions instead of reacting, you add strength. The results may not shout, but they whisper, and those whispers grow louder with time. You must understand that compounding works both ways. Positive habits create positive results, and negative habits create decline. Same principle that grows your investments can also destroy them if applied carelessly. Neglect compounds just as discipline does. Procrastination, laziness, and inconsistency. These small acts, when repeated daily, can erode your potential. The same way little efforts build success, little excuses build regret. That's why self-awareness matters. You must constantly ask yourself, what am I investing in today? Every decision is a deposit either into your progress or your stagnation. Are you investing in your peace or in your stress, in your growth or in your excuses, in your health or in your habits? Every moment counts because every moment compounds. The beautiful thing about compounded investment is that you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even when you fall, you get up. Even when you miss a day, you return the next. Consistency doesn't mean never failing. It means always coming back over time. Faithfulness turns effort into excellence. Think about how nature operates. A river doesn't carve through rock overnight. It does so over years of steady persistence. The sun doesn't rise in an instant. It climbs gradually, spreading light bit by bit until the whole sky glows. That's how growth works. It builds quietly, persistently, until one day you look around and realize you're not who you used to be. When you learn to appreciate the slow process, you'll stop rushing the outcome. You'll stop comparing your journey to others. You'll understand that your pace is not a punishment, it's protection. Life is teaching you patience, resilience, and gratitude through the process of progress. Because when you arrive too quickly, you're not strong enough to stay. But when you grow steadily, can easily shake what you've built. Investments compound through time, through patience, through consistency. Your daily decisions, what you think, what you say, what you do, are shaping your destiny. Every moment is either a deposit or a withdrawal. The question is, what kind of future are you building with your choices today? When you finally start seeing results, you'll realize it wasn't one big moment that changed your life. It was all the small moments when you decided to keep going. It was every early morning, every late night, every act of faith, every refusal to give up. It was every yes to discipline and every no to distraction. Those small choices built something unshakable. So don't despise the small beginnings. Don't overlook the quiet days. Don't underestimate the power of progress that doesn't make noise. Everything you're doing is adding up. Every page you read, every workout you finish, Every boundary you set, every prayer you whisper, it's all compounding into a version of you that will one day surprise the world. Time is not your enemy, it's your ally. Every day you remain faithful to the process, time multiplies your effort. And one day, results will speak for themselves. The success that once felt far away will meet you halfway because you built it piece by piece, decision by decision, day by day. So stay patient, stay consistent, keep sowing even when you don't see the fruit yet. Because investments compound over time and your future self is waiting to thank you for the seeds you're planting today. There comes a time when you no longer need to explain who you are, what you're doing, or where you're going, because your growth will do the talking for you. You don't have to convince anyone of your worth, argue with those who misunderstand you, or chase validation from people who never saw your potential. When you truly grow, your transformation becomes the loudest message you'll ever send. Real growth doesn't demand attention. It commands it. Growth is not about proving others wrong. It's about becoming the best version of yourself quietly, consistently, and faithfully. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the progress you're making behind the scenes. The seeds you're planting in silence will bloom in their season. And when they do, everyone who doubted you will see that your patience was power. True growth is never loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. Simply manifests through change, maturity, and peace. People talk. They always will. They'll question your choices, misunderstand your silence, misinterpret your distance. But you don't have to fight for their understanding. When you grow, you outgrow the need for approval. You begin to see that not everyone is meant to understand your process. Some were only assigned to a past version of you, and when you evolve, their access expires. Growth separates you from the familiar because purpose requires space. You can't elevate while you're still anchored to old habits, old mindsets, and old conversations. Your growth will show in how you handle what once broke you. The situations that used to make you lose control won't move you the same way anymore. The opinions that once hurt your feelings won't carry weight anymore. The things that used to distract you will no longer appeal to you. That's growth, not in how loudly you speak, but in how quietly you respond. Maturity is measured in restraint, not reaction. You don't have to clap back. You can walk away. You don't have to announce your progress. You can let your peace be the proof. You see, growth changes your posture. You stop chasing attention and start cultivating purpose. You stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. You stop seeking recognition and start seeking alignment. Because when you're truly focused on becoming better, you don't have time to explain it. You're too busy becoming it. Best proof of your progress is your transformation. People might forget what you said, but they'll never forget how your growth made them feel. They'll notice when your energy shifts, when your boundaries get stronger, when your focus becomes sharper. They'll see that you're no longer available for the things that drain you, the people that use you, or the environments that limit you. Quiet strength speaks louder than any speech ever could. Your peace is louder than your arguments. Your consistency is louder than your explanations. Your elevation is louder than your announcements. The truth is, not everyone can handle your growth. Some will feel uncomfortable when you rise because your progress reminds them of their stagnation. But you cannot shrink to make others comfortable. You cannot dim your light to keep others from feeling insecure. You are not obligated to fit into a space that no longer fits your spirit. Growth demands that you move forward, even if it means walking alone for a while. When you start growing, the people who belong to your next level will recognize it. You won't have to convince them. They'll understand the language of progress. They'll speak faith, discipline, and purpose like you do. They'll celebrate your boundaries instead of questioning them. That's how you know you're evolving. You attract what aligns, not what distracts. Growth is a quiet revolution within yourself. It's when you stop reacting and start reflecting. When you stop chasing and start choosing. When you stop seeking validation and start valuing yourself. You begin to realize that the real power lies in transformation, not explanation. The old version of you was loud because it needed to be seen. New version of you is calm because it knows it's secure. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone when you know who you are becoming. There's something powerful about moving in silence, not secrecy, silence. Silence doesn't mean you're hiding, it means you're focused. It means you've learned that growth doesn't need to be broadcasted. You don't have to post every step, share every win, or justify every decision. The world doesn't need to see the process to believe in the outcome. Let the results speak. Let the transformation testify. Let your discipline echo louder than your declarations. Growth isn't just about external success. It's about internal evolution. It's about how you think, how you feel, how you respond, and how you lead yourself. You'll know you're growing when peace matters more than proving a point, when consistency matters more than recognition, and when purpose matters more than popularity. That's when your spirit matures beyond words. That's when you understand that the loudest message you can give the world is your example. Let them watch. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them see you go from broken to bold, from confused to clear, from scattered to focused. You don't need to defend your transformation. Your results will do that for you. The things that used to require explanation will soon speak for themselves. The same people who once questioned you will one day quote you. That's the power of growth. It changes the narrative without a single word. Your actions, your discipline, your peace, these are your language now. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you're speaking growth. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you're speaking growth. Every time you walk away from what no longer serves you, you're speaking growth. It's a language that doesn't need words. It's a language of energy, effort, and evolution. Don't rush to prove anything. Time has a way of revealing what effort built. The same way a seed breaks the surface after months of unseen growth, your time will come too. Just keep working, keep learning, keep evolving. When the fruit shows, no one will question the root. Every silent season will make sense. Every sacrifice will reveal its purpose. Every unnoticed effort will bloom in its time. So stop talking about what you're becoming and start becoming it. Don't argue with people who can't see your vision. Just show them the results. Don't explain your silence. Let your peace speak. Don't defend your focus. Let your progress answer. You don't have to tell the world who you are. Your life will demonstrate it. When you focus on your growth, your presence changes everything around you. You start walking differently, thinking differently, loving differently. You start attracting opportunities that match your evolution. You become the living evidence of transformation. That's something no one can argue with because growth is undeniable. So let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them assume. You just keep growing. Because when you rise, when you shine, when you transform, the noise fades, the critics disappear, and the results speak for themselves. The world won't remember your explanations. They'll remember your elevation.